Welcome, everyone. Today, I have the pleasure of sitting with Alexa Benson-Valavanis, President and CEO of North Valley Community Foundation. How's it going today,
Hi.
Alexa?
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes. So here at the foundation, we're able to do so much so that people in our community are able to do so much.
I mean, we really are here just to help other people achieve what they want to achieve in the world. If it's anything positive, it's anything good, whether it's to help the animals or to help seniors in our community, whether it's responding to disasters or something all the way across the globe, an orphanage in the south of India, for example. We're here to walk alongside other human beings and make the really beautiful things in their heart come true. Oftentimes, there's complexity to that. They might not know exactly how they want to do that. They might not know who they need help from in order to accomplish what those charitable goals are. And that's really where we come in. People find us and we find those that have a heart to make a difference in the world. And then we walk alongside them. And we've been doing this now, at least I've had the honor and privilege of being at the Community Foundation for nearly 20 years. And what I've noticed time and again is human beings have a heart to give. They want to make a difference, and sometimes they just need a little help along the way. So that's what we do.
Not everybody knows they can make a difference in that way. How does one approach the foundation with their idea?
What we've seen about philanthropy and about charitable giving in general over the past few decades is that you don't have to be rich. You don't have to have accumulated a ton of wealth, and you don't have to have a financial manager or an attorney. You can just be somebody that really cares about making a difference and go the route of giving what you can, whether it's $10 a month or whether it's some stock that a family member left you in their estate. Mm-hmm. What we want you to know is that if you have a heart to do something good on planet Earth, the Community Foundation does have a way to help support you. And you don't have to check any boxes to come in the door. We don't have thresholds for giving. You don't have to have a sophisticated estate in order to make a huge difference through the Community Foundation. In fact, one of my favorite experiences that I've had here is we started a program called the Annie B's grant program years ago. And in this program, you had the ability, donors and community members had the ability to give to a variety of nonprofits. Somebody came in and he had $1 for each of the nonprofits. It was so important to him that he gave to all of the participants. I think we had 55 participants that year. He had $55. That's what he had. I was so deeply moved by that because I knew that it was a stretch for him, but it was so important to him that each nonprofit be given something, because at the end of the day, that giving was his love language. That giving was saying, I care. He gave what he could give. I find that to be so inspiring and beautiful. Yes, of course, at the Community Foundation, we work with people that have tons of resources and resources that are more sophisticated or resources like real estate gifts. But we also just want to walk alongside anyone that wants to make a difference.
To hear that anybody can give in the ways that they can is possible, I think gets it in the minds of everybody. It is accessible. We can actually provide in ways that aren't just putting dollars on a donation page, One thing that I think is so special about us and our team is how innovative and creative we are in the ways that we want to help other heroes in the community achieve their goals, their charitable goals. That's through creative grant making and being strategic about how we provide funds to our partners and helping individuals, just launch an event where they want to raise money for whatever it may be.
I love how you talk about the Community Foundation as something that's really innovative. And I think it's really important, certainly for me as a humanitarian, that when we look at the complex problems and challenges in our world, that we bring a sense of creativity and innovation to that. Oftentimes when I'm meeting with community leaders and stakeholders, we talk about how daunting these challenges really are. What I like to remember is there is a solution to each challenge that we face on this planet, and the solution is a human response. Whether it's helping us back out of things like treating the planet better and treading more lightly, or whether it's us coming together with complex solutions for those challenges, human beings are the answer. Now, I might be the biggest fan of human beings that's ever lived, but I really believe in us. I really believe that if we come together with a spirit of creativity and innovation, like we do in other sectors, that we can free ourselves up to figure out what these solutions are. And so at the Community Foundation, we really embody that, which is why I tend to hire creatives and I tend to hire writers, and because humanitarian work is just problem solving with like a paintbrush and crayons and innovation. And so we have, for the past 20 years, been very innovative and very nimble in our ability to respond and turn instantly to address a problem. Because at the end of the day, our mission is really to reduce suffering. Our mission really is to mobilize the helpers and the heroes, as you called them. And I think that requires looking at a situation and understanding that the people in that space are the ones that are going to ultimately help us do that. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it requires money. Sometimes it just requires new ways of thinking. Sometimes it requires partnering with people that 5 minutes before you wouldn't even have dreamed of partnered with because you have different political views or different religious views. But in this place, in the Community Foundation space, we want everybody at the table. We believe that that diversity of thought is what's so powerful. And so whether we're looking at the challenges of people that are experiencing homelessness and trying to make sure they have dignity and a meal and a place to live, and ultimately the wraparound services in order to have a life where they are sheltered, or whether we're looking at a firestorm that's ravishing through the communities around us, what we hold true is that we need diversity of thoughts, we need diversity of experiences, and ultimately we need a lot of people at the table that are willing to say, what can I do? What needs to be done? And have we tried this before? And so those are like some key ingredients, I think, of the success here. And also why, when somebody comes here, really what we're looking for is, do they have a heart to make a difference in the world? And do they have an attitude of like, we are in this together? Those are the factors that really, I think, determine whether or not you're going to make it in this community. And that's true not only for the employees of the Community Foundation, but for our clients. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the ethos here.
Someone in our community hears that we can help in some way, shape, or form, and they walk through the doors. Do they need to know exactly what it is that they want when they come to us?
I love that. They really don't. What we want is the helpers to show up. And we will walk alongside them and figure out exactly what the next best steps are. So oftentimes it's just them sharing what's in their heart. This can be about something that they just can't stand happening anymore, whether it's watching people suffer on the streets, experiencing homelessness, whether it's, animals that need shelter, whether it's the school system and needing support, psychology and counseling services in the schools. So usually what we love to hear first is just, why are they here? What is it that they want to help with in the world? What type of suffering do they want to reduce? What type of opportunity do they think exists that we haven't really as a community been able to grab a hold of? Mm-hmm. Once we understand that, that's where the real magic, I think, comes into play with the Community Foundation's partnership with these families and individuals and businesses, because, we have a network of people that do good. I often say I am the biggest fan of human beings on planet Earth, but partly it's because the ones I get to see all day, every day are so inspiring. The ones I get to talk to are the ones that believe we can make things a little bit better for one another. The ones I have the privilege of helping are the ones that are just absolutely fighting for a world that will be a little bit better for the generations after us. And so that is what inspires me, and I think it inspires the staff at the Community Foundation. So what we really need when somebody walks in the door is for them to share with us what's on their heart, and then we come up together with a plan in order to how to accomplish that We've got tons of different fund types at the foundation, whether it's opening up a memorial fund or a charitable impact fund or, all sorts of various fund types. That really is just how we are going to go ahead and accomplish what they're trying to achieve. I think the real magic is in them coming in and saying, this is on my heart. Oftentimes it comes from an experience where they saw something that they just don't want to see anymore.
Was there anything else that touched your heart enough today that you would like to speak to, Alexa?
I think it's just really amazing that at the end of the day, my wish would be a chance to sit down with every single person on planet Earth, just maybe 2-3 minutes, every single last one of them, and ask them what's in their heart related to making the world better. I don't think there would be a single person that didn't have something that they wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And I used to tell that story with groups of people. And of course, the natural cynics would stand up and say, really, you think those guys over there or those women over there really want to help? And I remember a time I met with a gentleman who had a vision that he wanted to help kids that were in juvenile hall. And I thought, this is a great way to test that theory I've been throwing out, that everyone has a desire to make a difference in the world if given the opportunity. Mm-hmm. And I thought, this is interesting because he wanted to work with people that were going to be in prison for the rest of their lives. The concept that Ron came up with was to create a letter campaign where these individuals that were lifers in prison had an opportunity to share with these children, or youth rather, in juvenile hall, what went wrong, what they would have done different. Mm-hmm. In essence, do something to give back to the world. And basically, it was the last bit I needed to prove to myself that even people that had no chance of ever getting into the world again, when given an opportunity to change the life of someone that they didn't know, took it, wrote letters, shared their story, said, oh my gosh, learn from me. If I can help you not make that mistake, or if I can validate some of the hurt you're going through, mm-hmm. or some of the pain that you've experienced and why you might be angry and why you might do these things, and we can still find another path, even then, every single one of the people that he asked to be part of that campaign was part of that campaign. And, we might not measure the results of a letter campaign from people in prison to, youth in our juvenile hall system. But I'll tell you, what it proved to me overwhelmingly was human beings are good. They want to make a difference. It usually just is a matter of tearing down barriers and giving them an opportunity to do it in a way that they think is effective, in a way that they feel like is making a difference. And so our whole system here is built around the idea that human beings are good, they want to do good, and they need a little help along the way.
Mm-hmm. And we can walk alongside them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Alexa.
Thank you.
This was an absolute pleasure to get to speak with you about what we can make possible, what people can make possible.
Yeah,
people
exactly.
in our community can make possible, and continue to give in their lifetimes and beyond that. So thank you.
Thank you.